Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhasha Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
After me.
Yes.
Atha Tritiyoodhyayah
Atha Tritiyodhyayah
Karma Yogah
Karma Yogaha.
Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna Uvacha
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Tat Kim Karmani Ghore Mam
Tat Kim Karmani Ghore Mam
Niyojayasi Keshava
Niyojayasi Keshava
Vyamishrenev Vakyena
Vyami Shreneva Vakena
Buddhim Mohayasiva Me
Buddhim Mohayasiva Me
Tadekam Vada Nishchitya
Tadekam Vada Nishchitya
Yena Shreyo Hamapnuyam
Yena Shreyo Hamapnuyam
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Lokesmin Dvividha Nishtha
Lokesmin Dvividha Nishtha
Pura Prokta Maya Nagha
Pura Prokta Maya Nagha
Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam
Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam
Karma Yogena Yoginam.
Karma Yogena Yoginam.
Thank you. So continuing from yesterday, chapter 2 has consolidated or summarized two paths, do raste. एक रास्ता प्रवृत्ति की तरफ, characterized by action, कर्मा. दूसरा रास्ता निवृत्ति की तरफ, characterized by karma sannyas. Preceded karma sannyas, ज्ञान प्राप्ति. So if we are in our life engaged as everyone is, हम एक रास्ता पकड़ा है, चुना है, चल रहे हैं, जिंदगी चल रही है, हम व्यवहार कर रहे हैं, इच्छाएं बना रहे हैं, पूरी कर रहे हैं, उनके परस्यू करते हैं, उनके सुख दुख भोगते हैं, disappointments, frustrations, happiness, expectations, सब कुछ. We are experiencing a world. This is our default life. हम जागते हैं, सॉरी, हम पैदा होते हैं, बड़े होते हैं, और एक रास्ते पे सब दुनिया चल रही है, हम साथ साथ चलते हैं. जो रास्ता सबने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है, उस रास्ते पे you feel there is a life happening, which means when I am young, I'm put to school, and then I go to college, I choose a specialty or I choose some education, higher education, and then I engage in some fun frolic at a right age, and then I decide to settle down, then I look for a partner and I settle down, and then there is a whole world opens up, and then I have children, and then next 20 years while they are growing up, and then they have to settle. This is a normal quote unquote. सब जीते हैं ऐसे. And there is nothing unusual in it. There is nothing extraordinary about it. There is nothing ordinary about it. It is just the way it is. But ये रास्ता कहाँ ले जाता है? Where does it lead? We saw in a nutshell, भोगते हैं हम सुख और दुख को. That is the starting and the ending. All my life I am pursuing something, and then it concludes in some happiness and some disappointments, etc. But the catch in this is that this is not a one odd life by tukka, by coincidence, by some miracle. We are born, and then once we die, we are gone. The catch is in this pattern of life that is set, there is very little thinking we do. We don't need much thinking here. The only thinking we employ is we have desires and we want to fulfill them, and how to go about fulfilling them, how to manage relations, etc. This much thinking we employ. But इससे ज़्यादा कुछ thinking नहीं involve होती. So what happens? The catch in this pursuit is that we are constantly generating karmas. Sakam karma. Sakam karma means we are pursuing Kama Purusharth, Artha Purusharth, because of which this cycle becomes unending. हम पिछले कर्म को भोगने के लिए इस जन्म में हैं, बट हम इस जन्म में कर्म कर लेते हैं, उसको भोगने के लिए अलग जन्म होगा, उसमें फिर हम फिर कर्म करेंगे अगर ह्यूमन बीइंग मिला तो. ह्यूमन बीइंग बॉडी में we can do all this. So this is the catch. Now there are some people who start thinking, is there an alternative model of life? We have lots of models that keep coming in society. And nowadays there'll be green model, you know, sustainable model. So you change your lifestyle, you change your habits, vegan model. You have lots of models that keep coming up every few years. A thinking person says, sees through all these and realizes whatever lifestyle, life choice I adopt, the catch seems to still be there. I may minimize sometimes, but I am still not freeing myself from this catch 22 situation. So, what if there is a way out? If a person starts inquiring and seeking, is there a way out? Then there are two options that come to us. One is, I just give up the whole thing. I go to Himalayas, stay in a cave, किसी से मिलना नहीं, किसी से कुछ नहीं, जो आ गया फल पेड़ पे उगा है खा लिया, नदी में पानी पी लिया, you know, uh, what is that, grass, कुशा से अपना मैट बना लिया and झोपड़ी बना के जिंदगी बिताएंगे. No interaction with nobody. Will it end the cycle of karma? Right, it doesn't. The other thing is what we are already doing. Go head on. Let's take every challenge that comes, execute it, which we are already doing. So, two options that seem available to us is करें या ना करें, छोड़ दें. छोड़ देने में am I freeing myself? No. Himalayas jaake, if I stay in a cave, am I freeing myself of the subjective sukham and dukham that I experience from the world or am likely to experience? Will I end the cycle by just keeping all my organs in rukki and prarabdh jeene do? And then will I? No, it won't happen. So, what is that method? What is that process with which I am conducting? I am in a pattern of life. I am already exhibiting life. I'm already amidst society. I'm already living with relations. I have families. I have friends. How am I to live that I get freed of this generation of more and more experiences accruing to myself? इसके लिए शास्त्र कहता है दो रास्ते हैं. Second chapter, Krishna told us there are two ways. One is marg of pravritti, karam के द्वारा. कर्म के द्वारा, make कर्मा your साधन. कर्म की प्रवृत्ति को रखते हुए we will find a way in which we slowly reduce the ownership of the phal, bhogna, and therefore maybe free ourselves to some extent of this cyclical existence. To some extent. The other is karma sannyas. Preceding karma sannyas, I take to a life of pure knowledge. Simplify my life and my needs to bare minimum. जितनी जरूरत है शरीर यात्रा के लिए उतने कर्म करना, but rest of my time, energy, life, breath, I employ in learning, knowing, understanding, contemplating on, like we said yesterday, that permanent factor. That is a path of nivritti. So ये दो रास्ते हैं, कर्म प्रवृत्ति, ज्ञान निवृत्ति, marg. Now these two, when Krishna said, we saw that he did not Arjun is alone standing in front. Krishna has just said these are the two paths. Arjun has already asked, I am your Shishya. Whatever is Shreyas for me, tell me, what am I to do? What should I do? What is the right thing for me? Tell me that. That Krishna, Krishna said, karma is good for you. You take to path of karma, अपनी duties करके, and he gave him the method in which to do the karma, and slowly you will free yourself. But Arjun felt in that conversation, the whole of 72 verses, he felt that, from 11th verse, okay, he felt that Krishna is glorifying a ज्ञानी, स्थित प्रज्ञ. He glorified means उसने स्तुति की है. एंड ज्ञानी की स्तुति करना मीन्स ज्ञान की स्तुति करना, ज्ञान मार्ग की स्तुति करना मीन्स निवृत्ति की स्तुति करना, मीन्स यू आर ग्लोरिफाइंग. यू थिंक इन योर eyes, Krishna, it appears that the path of knowledge is superior, is higher, because you also said, Durena hi avaram, from karma to karma yoga. But Arjun feels the difference is shown about karma and gyan. Then that option comes, vikalp comes, or rather, speculation comes. Ki why is Krishna telling me to follow karma if, in his opinion, path of nivritti, gyan is higher and superior? मुझे क्यों इस कर्म की तरफ डाल रहे हैं? And that question is very legitimate, is what these acharyas have tried to build sangati with. Sangati means connection of the previous chapter and the next chapter. They are building that connection. So, what are the possibilities to anybody? Before you come to the first verse of the third chapter, if you just say there are two paths and only Arjun standing in front, then it is like saying you go to a career counselor and the career counselor says, uh, um, civil services is a very good choice of career, but you take to um, you become a teacher. You become a teacher, but civil services is very good. Or rather, you do business, but civil services is very good an option. You do business, but civil services is very good option. There are two paths. He says there are two careers there. He doesn't say for you first. He says there are two careers. One is business, other is civil services. Appear for civil exam. And civil exam who gets to travel, has a lot of blah 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 blah. Okay. Maybe a wrong example and a bad example, but you understand the spirit. A business, there'll be risk and there'll be this and there'll be that, and you don't know whether you'll be successful or not, and you have to be prepared for all uncertainties. But when Arjun says, "Main kya karu?" Krishna says, "For you, business is better." So suddenly, you are asking, you will feel, are if that is also an option which has less strain in it, compared less risk in it, compared to this, then why are you asking me to do this? Why are you asking me to go do business? Why am I told to do something which is less in its outcome? It won't give me Shreyas, because he didn't hear Krishna saying, Karam karke Shreyas milega. For you, Karam is good. So, why is it that what will I start feeling is one thing, naturally the doubt comes. So then further he says, the acharyas have said, you can say that Arjun is getting mixed up for a fact that maybe Krishna is saying you can do either or. You can do either or. विकल्प है, दोनों है, दोनों में से कुछ भी कर लो. But he didn't hear Krishna tell him that also. He heard only two paths. So his doubt is and legitimate. And these acharyas have written beautiful words in Arjun's mouth. Put beautiful words saying, I am your bhakta, I am your best friend, I am closest to you. I am saying I am your shishya. After all this also, you are not telling me you're not telling me to take to that which you think will take to Shreyas, which is Gyan. So far we are all together. So he says, should I say there is a vikalp? दोनों में से एक कर लूं या ये कर लूं या वो कर, choice है क्या? And here they bring up a very beautiful point, Madhusudan Saraswati, what we left yesterday at. He says, vikalp can only come, choice can only come when their choices are of equal nature. Should I take business or should I do civil services? Both will give 19-20. One of them I can be told which one will be better. But vikalp cannot be there between something which is higher and lower. Choice is not, if there's given a choice, what is higher and what is lower, is that a choice? Is that a choice?
Not at all.
Why?
Obviously, you will choose the higher.
Exactly.
Any human being would do that.
Absolutely. Any human being will take the higher. Now here Arjun says कि मुझे जाना है, मुझे संन्यास लेना है, और कृष्ण कह भी रहे हैं कि संन्यास मार्ग, कर्म संन्यास मार्ग takes you to Shreyas. So why am I not told clearly to do this? So here they said, ekameva prati vikalpena ubhayoho upadesha iti chet. Supposing the upadesh given by him, by Krishna, was, there is a choice, vikalp hai, ekameva, take anyone. You cannot say like that. Why? Na, it's not true. That interpretation would be wrong. Why? Utkrishta Nikrishtayoho Vikalpa Anupapatte. Between higher and lower, Utkrishta is higher, Nikrishta is lower. Between higher and lower, there is no possibility of a choice. So, avidya nivritti upalakshita Atmaswarupe mokshe taratamya asambhavat cha. What is higher? He says, higher and lower, when there is a degree comparison, something is better and something is less better. It can be a degree comparative, can be there when there is a degree comparison. Tama, tara means this is better than that, isn't degrees. It's less warm, more warm. That kind of a degree comparison can be there. But in moksha, there is no degree comparison. Gyan takes you to moksha. And in that, there is no degree comparison. Karam and its phal will have degree comparison because phalo mein degree variation hai. As per your actions, you will get a different result. So results can be compared, karmas can be compared, but gyan and karma you cannot compare. So the important topic here is, we say in Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, through Shankara's uh, bhashyams, the Advaita philosophy, Advaita darshan, says that Gyan and Karma both cannot be simultaneously pursued by the same person at the same time. And there is a whole reason he's, excuse me, said a little in the past. Karta is Jiva, Atma is, if Karta is Jiva, Atma is
Akarta.
Akarta. Akarta. So they cannot go together. Karma will mean Karta. Gyan is, Atma is Akarta. So both cannot go together. Therefore, Tasmat, Jnana Karma Nishthayoho, Bhinna Adhikare, Bhinna Adhikari. Are there two adhikaris for different people, like we said yesterday? Arjuna is right there in front. Only one person. So he says, Bhinna, if they were, then also we would say, ha, theek hai, Gyan and Karma, different people. But this won't happen also. So, Gyan and Karam are applicable under different conditions. When you are on a format of a normal, as I started the class, in that normal pravritti format of class, of life, here we are already with attachments, we are already with hopes, we are already in aspirations, we are already dreaming, we are already wanting to achieve, we are result focused, we want success, we want, so we are already in a frame of mind. Such a frame of mind is not eligible for Atma, Akarta, Jnana. Yes. Is not eligible for Atma, Akarta, Gyan. He is eligible first for this Kartritva, Bhogna, Bhoktritva, Jivatvam, this expression that I have of myself, weakening that. So when responses are generated on different emotions, expressions, reducing that, bringing that under one's observation and control is the first step. Therefore, Krishna had actually told Arjun, though these acharyas, both I haven't read it so far, but from how I am now beginning to see, in the sense that fine print is, Arjun has got mixed up in the fact that he hasn't understood Karam Yoga. उसको लगा कर्म करना means fight the war. कर्म नहीं करना means don't fight. These are my two choices. Bhagwan is telling me fight the war. But did Bhagwan really tell him fight the war? Is that the advice Bhagwan gave him?
Yes, Preeti, he did say fight the war.
He said fight the war?
Without having expectation, fight it.
So what is...
Do your duty.
So
Do your duties, what he said,
only that much.
and don't expect results or be attached to them.
And right.
Don't be attached to your whoever you will lose eventually.
And
Be objective.
and
Don't grieve. Don't grieve.
and yes, do your duty. Samatvam. Here, right in front of you, the screen is there.
Yeah.
Krishna told him very clearly he has to act, but in a specific mode, attitude, frame of mind. Now, obviously, Arjun, like most of us, has also missed that fine print. कर्म कर सुन लिया उसने, मगर कर्म कैसे कर, ये तो now we have the leisure of week after week आराम से बैठ के समझना करना. There it was a battlefield. Straight away on the battlefield, already he is nervous, already he is anxious, already he is confused, already he is grieving. He heard, his mind was looking for an answer. Ladu ki nahi ladu. Only that much. He didn't know there was a third thing in between. So his focus was in listening, ladu ki nahi ladu, and he heard that part which said, do your duty. And the fine print was, there is a clause. Bhagwan never said go fight the war. He did not say fight the war. He says by doing your duty, you will get shreyas in time. Do your duty with these conditions. And these conditions is what he completely did not register fully, probably. He did not understand it. So on hearing, he felt, what should I do? Why is Krishna not allowing me to follow Gyan, Marg? He says in the first verse, Hey Janardana. Janardana is giving Sambodhan to Krishna. Hey Janardana, Karmanaha, कर्मों से, बुद्धिहि ज्यायसी. Jayasi means superior, higher. Buddhi here means Sankhya Buddhi, not Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi means Gyan, Gyan Marg. Karm Marg se Gyan Marg superior. Te mata, in your opinion. If chet, if it is so, tat kim, then why? Karmani, ghore karmani. Ghor karam. Killing is a ghor karam, not average. It's not actually saying business karo, ya naukri karo. No? Actually those two, same thing. Business karo, naukri karo. It is not like that. So, between these, he says, karmo mein ghor karma, not ordinary karma. These are terrible karmas. I have to kill. You are making me a nimitta for killing so many people by telling me to do my karma. Do karma. Not my karma. Do karma. Ghore, mam, mujhko. Niyojayasi. pushing me, impelling me? Why are you impelling me towards these terrible karmas? O Keshava, another name for Krishna. Now, Janardana has two meanings, and very aptly, some commentators have given in the context in which Krishna calls Arjuna with various names like Kunti Putra, Parth, different Mahabaho. Krishna uses many names for Arjuna in each context of the verse. Arjuna is also using certain names Sambodhan to Krishna. So, what is Janardana? So, one of the meanings of Janardana, there are two meanings. Different people use different meanings between the two. One of the meaning is someone who fulfills all your yachanas, all your wishes, all your requests, icha. Yachna karna means plead. You're requesting. O Janardana, the word is sarvaihi janaihi atyate yachyate swa abhilishita swa abhilishita siddhaye iti Janardanaha. By his own self, he can fulfill them. The one who can fulfill your wishes, sabki wishes, Janardana, O Janardana. Now, where does this word fit in this context of what Arjuna is saying?
He somehow wants Lord Krishna to agree to his desire of not wanting to fight this war.
He says, आप तो
He
सबकी
wants-
इच्छाएं पूरी करते हो. So,
तो मेरी भी इच्छा
what
पूरी-
about me? Why are you putting me into ghor karma? The other meaning of uh, is where the very, I think we'll stick to this because here he's talking about this in more in context. There's another meaning also. Um, right. Yes. The other meaning is, but that is a little, the other meaning is where by his destroying your अज्ञान, जो अपने ज्ञान से, अपने स्वरूप के ज्ञान से, means a person whose साक्षात्कार in Hindi, as they would say, means direct cognition of such a person, जिसके साक्षात्कार से means by your perception of that exalted being in that sense. Here Krishna is called Janardana, जिसके साक्षात्कार से जन्म और बंधन का नाश होता है, that avidya निवृत्ति होती है, that it gets destroyed. So such a one is also Janardana. So that meaning fits when he's saying, what is Shreyas for me? Am I making connection? Is it okay? So it's just by the way, not so important, but to get the spirit and the flow. Arjuna is saying, O Janardana, why am I? And here the commentator uses very beautiful words. He says, Sarva Ishwarasya, Sarva Ishtadainaha. You are Sarva Ishwaraha. सर्व इष्टदायिनः, सबकी इच्छाओं को पूरा करते हो, देते हो सबकी इच्छाएं. माम भक्तम, मैं तो आपका भक्त हूं, आई एम योर भक्त. शिष्यस्ते हम शादी माम, आई हैव सेड आई एम योर शिष्य ऑल्सो. देन ऑल्सो त्वत् एक शरण तयोः उपसन्नम प्रति, I have taken sharanam. Then, to me means I am so special. I have qualified in that sense that I am seeking directly from you what is good for me. Then also, why is it that you tell me to go there? I am emphasizing on this question as I always do. I spend a lot of time sometimes because if the question is not clear to us, whatever Bhagwan will give as an answer will remain superficial. If we are able to appreciate the question of Arjun and the context in which, that's why these acharyas have written the commentary in such details, to make us appreciate, validate Arjun's standpoint, so that what is going to be Krishna's answer, we know beforehand because we've already studied it now, even in the second chapter. Krishna is going to tell him again, you have missed the fact of the attitudinal changes you have to bring in karma. फिर कर्म करो. And not this normal format of karma that we all do engage in. So, I'm just going back a little bit. Concluding here, Shankaracharya gives a big commentary on refuting one of the options that can come and which was in his time a huge societal belief, because Karam Kand was active at that time. People were ritualistic to the point of fault, to the point of superstition. They were not using rituals for growth, they were using rituals out of fear and non understanding, without Shraddha. So there is this school, that thinking, popular it had become in Shankara's time, which is same passage on second chapter. There was a commentary that was written by some luck, good luck, bad luck, who knows. It's no longer available for verification except from Shankara's bhashyams that we understand it was probably there, because Shankara spends so much time refuting it, which is Gnana Karma Samuchaya Vadi. उनका कहना है, उस कमेंट्री में उन्होंने लिखा कि everybody should be pursuing Gyan and Karma together for moksha, because Krishna has said that in the second chapter. So far, what have we studied? We have understood Arjun's question based upon what came and where his confusion comes. But keep that aside for now. This is now Shankara's introduction, just touching the school. The author of that commentary was Bodhayana, and he's written a short vritti on Brahma Sutra also and Gita also. It's not available anymore, the text, but he's called Vrittikar in that sense, and Bodhayana Matam. Matam means opinion. An opinion which says ज्ञान और कर्म दोनों साथ होने चाहिए. And in his matam, ज्ञान और कर्म दोनों साथ करना है, उसमें भी there was another specific Gautama Muni. There was a Gautama Muni who propagated एक आश्रम अवस्था श्रेष्ठ है, and एक आश्रमी he is called, which was grahastha ashrami. So according to him, everyone should do karma pradhan. Everyone should have predominance of karma along with Gyan in a small measure. थोड़ा सा, श्रवण थोड़ा सा, मनन थोड़ा सा. So ज्ञान कर्म समुच्चय means ज्ञान और कर्म को साथ करोगे तो मोक्ष मिलेगा. Because in Karam Kand there is a statement, mandate. Yavat jivam agnihotram juhyat. As long as you are living, agnihotra is your Vaitika karma. Juhyat, you should continue to do. So it is written in the Vedas. As long as anyone is alive, they should continue to do their karmas. So yavat jivam agnihotram juhyat. Now, keeping this mandate in mind, Jnana Karma Samuchayavadi is saying his reasons why Krishna's
Okay,
propagation
I
is.
found this on the web for his reasons why Krishna is. Check it out.
How does one switch that off? I never enabled you. Something must have got pressed. Okay. What was I saying? Hmm.
One of the schools of thought said karma and
Gyan.
Gyan can be pursued
Right.
together.
Shankara says, as we have just seen, I think now we are beginning to see the distinction why we are spending this time. Shankara says Gyan alone, Shankara means Advaita Vedanta, not Shankara as a founder. He's not a founder. Advaita Vedanta says Gyan, Kevala Gyan is sufficient, is mandatory, is necessary for moksha. Topic is moksha. श्रेयस क्या है? ज्ञान, सिर्फ ज्ञान बहुत है, लेकिन उस ज्ञान के लिए उसकी पिछली स्थिति है सर्वकर्म संन्यास. So he is emphasizing on sannyasa ashram also. You have to renounce all extra engagements in society. You have to give up all this too much of phelana, which karma makes us, because karma spreads us. Karma engages us in a lot of activities, and interests grow, and there is a lot of cycles sustainable that you have to engage in to sustain them. So karma makes you remain actively engaged with your body and your senses throughout. Shankara says, means Vedanta says, karma is only to be done as we are seeing here. कर्म योग करके, चित्त शुद्धि करके, ज्ञान प्राप्ति योग्यता लेके, सर्व कर्म संन्यास करके, आत्मनिष्ठा में मनन निधिध्यासन से, दिस इज द पाथ. ये एक रास्ता है. Absolutely, Anna. That is why we say Vedas, we are a very democratic society. Right from then, we have had democracy in our society. There is another school, another party. There is one party, nationalist, there's another party. That party says sannyas is not mandatory at all. Sannyas, in fact, there is a verse in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad which is just by the way mentioning people who are not eligible for karma, they should take sannyas. So there is certain eligibility for karma, like grahasti. If you have to do karma, you have to be a grahast. So those who are not somehow not being a grahast cannot perform karmas. That is one. Then there's if you have any physical impairment of any sort, you cannot do karmas. So there are some list of some few that Vedas give you. Those karmas that the Vedas talk of, other than those people, everybody else should be doing. only these people can take to sannyas. They can have their life because anyway they're not eligible for karma. So they can take sannyas, and then that is how you can have withdraw from the society, go live on the outskirts, live on bhiksha, and study whatever. If you're bhakti oriented, do bhakti, study oriented, do study, etc. So these are, it was a very it was growing a lot in the society. As we said today, even Vedic ashram has fallen off. So where are we talking about that? But in the present context, so far am I clear? In the present context, that thinking, that Purva Pakshas, as we call them, that other schools represent, is also available in society at all times, whether that school has got superseded by other thinking. Like today, we have a materialistic thinking in the world. It doesn't matter, but the inherent belief that can bring up a doubt, dono karu, karam chhod do, because a lot of us would have a lot of fear in even leaving Vedic karmas. Pujas, जिनको आदत पड़ जाती है, उनको बोलो आज पूजा नहीं हो रही है, they are very restless. Means भगवान नाराज हो जाएगा. They actually feel मैंने कुछ आज नहीं किया. So there is this thought that karam is very, 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 very essential. Which karam? Now we are not talking about business and not the laukik karmas. We are talking about shruti, shrauta karma, smriti karma, smarta karma. Shruti karma means these yajnas and agnihotras according to your ashramas. Kshatriya has, why is Krishna telling Arjuna? It's a Kshatriya dharma. That's a Kshatriya karma, etc. Smarta karmas are karmas which are through the sake of, excuse me, which are benefiting society. There is a verse which says it. Vyasa has defined these smarta karmas as Ashtadasha Purananam Saram. In all the 18 Puranas, the essence of all the 18 Puranas is by Vyasena Kirtatam. He has glorified it, Vyasa. In these, all these 18 Puranas, is what is karma? Smarta karma. Because it's in Puranas, it's smarta karma. Paropkaraha punyaya. परोपकारः पुण्याय. पर उपकारः, इतने मीनिंग से क्या समझ में आया? पर उपकारः. Anybody understands the meaning? पर उपकारः. Para means
You do favors for somebody.
Para means not favor alone. Para means for the other. Upakar means which should benefit them. Para upkaraha punyaya, which become the means for punyam, for you. दूसरे का उपकार करना, not in the sense of favor alone, जिसमें उसका हित है, जिसमें उसको benefit होगा, for his sake. पर उपकारः. पापाय परपीडनम. The definition of punya is paropkaraha. Definition of pap is, understanding of pap is parapeedanam. What is peedanam? पीड़ा करना, किसी को दुख देना. अगर तुम्हारे कुछ करने से किसी को दुख मिल रहा है, वही पाप है. So this is a general format for smarta karma. So in this what came, that is why people coop, tadag, in those days dig wells for the society, build shelter homes. When people, even now when you go for Tirath Yatras, it's a lot less, but it used to be a lot 30, 40 years ago. Uh, there were shelter homes that some voluntary bodies would do, would whoever comes there, they are fed throughout the cycle of the Tirath. So Gangotri has a few months you can go. Every few kilometers or meters, you would have a shelter home volunteered or sponsored by some people who you can go rest there. The pilgrims can go rest there, and all these good karmas. That is called smarta karma. So, what is this Jnana Karma Samuchayavadi saying? He's saying for the till the last breath of your life, karmas, Shruti and Smartha. First, he doesn't differentiate. Initially, there's a big discussion that Shankara puts here in a, you will see how many paragraphs 01, 02, 03, 04, 05, and then 06, where he introduces the first verse. That big a discussion there is. We'll do this some other time exclusively when you are a little more comfortable with Sanskrit. This is the basic idea. At this point, what is, they are not to be slighted away. It's very easy to say, Arjun ne pucha ki I'm getting confused as if by your words. Should I do this or should I do that? There are people who ridicule this if you do not study the Bhashyams, if you do not have the in depth background of why that question is coming from. You have to first respect the question that Arjun's asking. Otherwise, there is a superficial tendency to slight it away as what is he asking? Why did he not understand? That's incorrect. So he's saying this jnana karma, you have to go on doing these karmas as long as you are eligible by nature. Supposing if you're a grahastha and one of your partner is not with you anymore, then the eligibility is gone anyway. Then do smartha karmas, because there is a contradiction in his bhashyam that Shankara shows here. It's a very specific bhashyam. So, refuting all of this, he says, and very logical, very, very enjoyable, very logical. Step by step, that Shankara refutes that, starting with contradiction in their own statements made in the beginning of the Gita and then beginning of third chapter. There he said everybody should do. Here he said ashram based grahast sannyasi need not do. So there was a contradiction kind of a thing, and then more points that come there. And therefore, we are concluding this. Jnana Karma Samuchayavadi means that thinking in us, I have to continue doing karmas. And which karma? Punya karma. I must acquire punya. And acquiring punya means paropkaraha. I should do upkaraha to the others. That thinking along with it is another set of attitude. Karam Yoga is different from this. Yesterday, someone said, is Karam Yoga bringing punyam? That's very by the way. Just as we said, in the larger pond, little water is anyway included. Even Shravanam of Shastram will bring you punyam. You have nothing to do. Even Shravanam is earning that grace, anugraha, of ease of life ahead. But that to say that I work in my life to acquire punyam and avoid papam, it's a different mindset. Karam Yoga is a different mindset. Karam Yoga gives Chitta Shuddhi. Paropkaraya means punyam. You'll get better and better uh, sthiti in life. Yes, if you need punyam, work for it. That's perfectly okay. Nobody says you need not aspire for punyam. Point is, punyam will give moksha. Will punyam free you from the cycle? That is also what people think. If I get a lot of punyam, I'll be freed. Ultimately, it will give me moksha. Punyam doesn't give you moksha. Punyam gives you higher and higher sthiti of existence, up to the highest point of Swargalok, different Swargaloks and Brahmaloks. It means better and better, less struggles in life, easy
Does it
availability.
help in Jnana, precedes?
Um, the maximum, it depends on what kind of punyam one has earned. Say if you have earned the punyam of sharing knowledge, by just sharing knowledge, you know, there are certain situations that punyam will bring you to the availability of knowledge, exhaust itself. So various kinds of punyam, according to your karma, you get the punyams. In those days, if you read the Puranic stories, people used to do a lot of because Gyan was distributed, given to society only in this Chaturmas. People would come to the villages, different villages, and in Chaturmas they would hold satsangs. And the grahasthas and those involved in life in normal format were given knowledge. And those grahasthas would serve these people. Now that's a specific kind of a punyam. So which punyam after that, it will have to be Purusharth again. Okay. So far, we are clear?
Yes, please.
So now in the second verse, what happened? I don't know what happened. Let's just now in the second verse, he says, continuing only up to the point of his doubt. And this also the teachers have very clearly stated. We have already covered it, but for the sake of Vyamishreneva iva vakyena. He says Vyamishra. Mishra is what? Mixed. Yeah? Vyamishra. He says quite mixed up. Kind of contradictory. Your statements, vakyena, your statements, Vyamishreneva, seem contradictory. Iva. Iva is the important word. Vyamishrena iva. This is iva. Sandhiyoge eva hold. Vyamishreneva. Vyamishrena iva. Vakyena. Like that iva word, there is so much commentary on this word, iva. Translation is like, seemingly. ऐसा लग रहा है. बुद्धिम मोहयसि इव मे. Vyamishreneva. Sorry. Buddhim mohayasi iva. Again, iva. It is confusing. This contradictory statements of yours have me, mujhko, kind of appearing to be confusing me. They seem to be confusing me. Mohayasi iva. मुझे मोहित कर रही हैं, मुझे कंफ्यूज कर रही हैं, as if they are confusing. Therefore, tat ekam. Therefore, ekam vada. Speak eloquently, clearly, decisively, निश्चित्य, निश्चय करके एक, tell me, conclusively, decisively, yena, by which, shreyaha, aham, I will get, apnuyam, I will gain, I will get, I will go, मुझको होगी. What has Arjun said now? He has said what you said in second chapter. I haven't got clear what am I supposed to do. I'm still confused. You seem to be glorifying Gyan Yoga to give Shreyas, but you are telling me to do karma, which you are not saying will give. He didn't say that. मुझको क्यों कह रहे हो? So the two verses together. Question here, because it's in context, I'm taking it up. The distinction between Buddhi Yoga and Sankhya and Yoga. Please explain the difference one more time. Sankhya here is Samyak Darshanam. Samyak Jnanam. And that Jnana involves Buddhi. So many places, Buddhi Yoga is specifically Gyan Yoga. Only here in Gita, Krishna has used yoga. But in Karam Yoga, also, he has used it as why? Because in the involvement of Karam Yoga, while executing Karam Yoga, you have to use your buddhi to know what is my duty, what attitudinal change I must have. So whether it is my to be done or not, when to do, what to do, that buddhi means arpanam buddhi. Buddhi has to be there. Prasad buddhi has to be there. So it is a shift of an attitude. I'm sorry, Karam Yoga is Buddhi Yoga mentioned here. I hope that's clear. So now in the third verse, we'll just start the verse a little, unless until there's a question up to this point, because now, whatever best we could summarize.
Deepti, at one point, Krishna does say that if you fight the war, you will go to Swargam, right?
Huh.
So, why would he say otherwise that then? Why did he think that, why was he confused if Krishna did say that, if you fight the war, you will go to Swargam? Does Shreyas and Swargam be different?
Huh. They are different. Shreyas here means moksha, freedom. Swarg is not moksha. So Swarg was a karma phal. Shreyas is not karma phal alone, means it is karma, it is what takes me to moksha. Shreyo Marg. In Kathopanishad, he'll talk about two paths, Shreya Marg and Preya Marg. Preya Marg is the marg of senses, indulgences. Shreyo Marg means all this that we are now doing. Karam Yoga, Chitta Shuddhi, Gyan Yogyata, etc. This is Shreyo Marg. So what Arjun has asked is, what will give me spiritual maturity? What will evolve me? मेरे लिए श्रेयस क्या है? मेरा हित किस में है? So when Krishna gave him that thing, if you die also you'll go to Swargam, it was more from his standpoint of what he had thought, I'll go to Narkam. So opposing that by doing your duty, you will only go to Swargam, not to Narkam. So that logic was to cancel his thinking of, by doing this action, I'll go to Narak.
So, Dipti ji, can we say that when you do actions on your dharma, that leads to punyam?
When you do actions on your dharma without attachments will lead to chitta shuddhi. If you will do your dharmic karma with attachments to fruits, it will result in punyam. That's the thin line.
Thank you. Right.
That is a very thin line which Gita is telling. And that is why a lot of us get confused about it. Karam Yog initiate nahi ho pata because of this thin line. Divya, is that okay? So now Krishna is beginning to answer. We'll just start and then we'll continue next class. I'll just chant this once. Shri Bhagavan Lokesmin dvividha nishtha pura prokta maya nagha Gnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. Now Krishna is reminding Arjuna all over again. He says the last word here, Anagha. Maya Anagha. Anagha is a name for Arjun. Sinless one. Means you are free of any papam. You are pure. You are yourself a noble, pure person, free of having accumulated papam. Free of sin, pap. Pap is the word I prefer. Free of any pap. O Anagha. Loka Asmin. Asmin Loke. In this world. Sankhyanam Yogena. ज्ञान योग्यता के लिए. Yoginam. For the yogis, karma marg. Karma yog marg. Karma marg. Karma yog marg. Twofold. Dvividha nishtha. Established ways of living life has been told by me pura since the ancient times. Since the very beginning. Pura prokta has been told by me. What has been told? In this world, there are two commitments. Nishtha, establishment. Two commitments that one will have in front of them to mark their life, to conduct their life. Gnana Yoga for the Sankhyas, those who are thinkers, विचार करने वाले जो हैं. And for the yogis, Karti Marg, for them, Karma Yoga is the path. So in the class today, I started with this also. There are these two parts, pravritti and nivritti. That is what he's saying here. In this world, when you pursue knowledge as yoga, that is Gnana Yoga. That is one path. It is for the Sarva Karma Sannyasi, means who's ready now to get freed of the dependent cycle of causation. And for the Karma Yogis, path of karma. This has been set since the very beginning of creation. दो अलग रास्ते हैं ये. Simultaneously, you cannot walk on both. There is a saying in English, no? You cannot ride on two boats.
Two boats.
Two
Yeah.
boats. You cannot simultaneously ride on two boats. You'll have to keep your feet on one boat. Therefore, it is essential to know which boat am I eligible to ride on. Because, trust me, people, in the name of Vedanta, because it's so attractive, Gyan Yoga mein kuch karam nahi hai na? And people think that for the rest of their life, once you join, do this course and do this Vedanta ki fir classes mein aram se, there are so many excuses not to do your duties, your actions. And you feel that knowledge gives you peace, knowledge gives you shanti, and knowledge brings. And then there's this can't talk, cannot. People have this misunderstanding by no fault of anybody's. This misunderstanding is there that I am eligible for knowledge straight away. There are people who are eligible for knowledge straight away. Who are those? In the ashram avastha, straight from brahmachari, they took to sannyas. Means right from the beginning, they did not enter grahast. Means the thoughts for relationships and security and wo vichari nahi man mein aaye. They knew straight away the goal of life was like Ramana Maharishi. The goal of life, Shankaracharya, goal of life is moksha. Therefore, there is nothing in between. Yeah? But for everyone else who has had desires for everything, when they say, because Vedant mein sun liya, so therefore I am now just one step before. इतना सा कमी रह गई, बस rest of my life इतनी सी कम दो and I'm there. A lot of people have this delusion, we call it self-delusion. Because चित्त शुद्ध mana को self-delusion नहीं है. चित्त शुद्ध manaha knows the path correctly. तपस किया है चित्त शुद्धि के लिए and they know their अंतकरणम मनन कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है, दुखी है कि नहीं है. All these स्थित प्रज्ञा के लक्षण, am I close to them or not close to them? Can I be comfortable with praise and censure? If people call me, if people insult me, am I okay? Etc., etc. There are a lot of yardsticks through the second chapter itself. We will get to know them. So Krishna says, and therefore, as we just saw yesterday also, third and fourth chapter are elaboration of that one sutra, 47th. Do your karma. How? So that in time you become eligible. for Gyan. If you're already eligible, there will be no doubt. You will be not dukhi. You will not be a samsari. That is a yardstick for it. Okay, so we'll conclude
So,
here.
so Diptiji, I have one question. So these are two parallel paths. The yogi, Karam yogi, and the sannyasi. They're two parallel paths leading to two different destinations.
This is the. There are not two parallel paths. There are two stages of one path. Like yesterday we said, it was a good example, undergraduate and postgraduate. So if you've already, supposing by purva karma, you have already cleared your undergraduate in some other janma. This janma, you have woken up only with the perception of knowledge. So you are ready for postgraduate. But that is a very rare few. So there are two stages of one path. But when he says there are two paths, he means to say they both cannot simultaneously be approached.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. So is that all? We'll conclude here. Any other question? That's true. Yes. I don't remember the context or anything, but that's, I guess, what you're saying is right, Nehal. Okay. So we will end here. Can you conclude, Neetuji?
Yes, Diptiji. Sarvesham swastirbhavatu. Sarvesham shantirbhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukh bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Swasti prajabhya paripalayantam. Nyayena margen mahim mahisha. Go brahmanebhya shubhamastu nityam. Loka samastha sukhino bhavantu. Kale varshatu parjanyah. Prithvi sasya shalini. Deshoyam shobharahitah. Brahmana santu nirbhayah. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavada Diptiji.
Recording has stopped.
Dhanyavada, everyone.
Hari Om Diptiji, thank you.
Hari Om, thank you.
Hari Om
everyone.
Diptiji.
Thank you.
Hari Om, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Diptiji.
Thank you, Ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
The broadcast of Facebook Live has stopped.